Hey guys, Eric with Stochastic back with another video on marketing strategy. And today I want to talk a little bit about the kind of the end goal of the marketing strategy, which was getting our technicians in the home and what happens when we're there. And a thought occurred to me. I was just spending some time last evening with my daughter at her very first flag football practice. And there is nothing better than watching a bunch of 5-year-olds learn flag football for the first time. And while it's a riot, it occurred to me as I was watching that, football's a pretty complicated game. And there's a whole lot of moving parts when you play it. But the cool thing they did is they were breaking it down for the kids was to really give them a list of priorities. Here's the things we need to look at. And look, we're not talking about complicated plays for 5-year-olds playing flag football, but they gave them a list of priorities. Do this, then this. Do this, then this. Do this, then this. This is the most important. This is the second most important. This is the third most important. And within a few minutes, the kids were able to grasp a lot of the fundamentals of the game and really start having a good time. And it occurred to me while I was watching this that we have a problem in our industry, and that is that everything is the most important thing. Our technicians are not given that same list of priorities I saw a bunch of 5-year-olds learning about football. We don't give them a list of priorities when we're in the home. What we give them is a whole lot of things that are the most important thing. Every house they go into, we tell them you have to find an opportunity for a replacement. You have to find an opportunity to sell IAQ. You have to get an agreement. You have to, you have to, you have to. We hire outside people even to come in and talk about these things, to talk about the products they can sell when they're in the home. And those people say, this is the most important thing you're going to do when you're in the house. This is the thing that's really going to drive your business. And at the end of the day, if everything is the most important thing, then nothing is the most important thing. And that becomes a problem for our technicians because we send them into houses with no idea of the actual list of priorities we have, what we want them to really focus on, and kind of the progression that they should go through as they're evaluating the house. And the reason while I'm standing there looking at flag football that this occurred to me was I started to think about pass progressions for quarterbacks. So I thought it was a pretty comparable item. A quarterback walks out on the field and the ball is snapped to him. And when that ball is snapped, he has a very specific progression he's going to read through. One, two, three, four. One, two, three. However many options and however many routes there are on that play, he has. And he has to look through in a specific order set up for that play every single time. And it doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady or a freshman quarterback in your very first game. Pass progression is the job of the quarterback. In fact, going through that pass progression and seeing what's available is what separates the greats from all the rest. And so it's a real simple system, but even the highest paid players, guys making millions of dollars a year, still have to do it. And why? Well, because the play is designed to give the quarterback certain opportunities, and he has to check to see if each of those opportunities is or is not available. Now, that goes pretty quick in a football game, usually about between 2 and 3 seconds after the ball was snapped that it is thrown, many times even less than that, by an NFL quarterback. But it's the same task we're actually giving to our technicians. The difference is the quarterback knows that the clear out or the go route is the number one option on most pass plays. Why? Because it's the one that gets the touchdown. It's the one that gets us 40 yards. It's what we're trying to get out of the play, if it's available. If not, there are other steps down the ladder, all the way down to our check down route, where we're throwing the ball into the flat, drop off pass, etc., where we're just trying to get a couple yards and move on to the next play. In fact, built into most plays and most quarterbacks' abilities, when they walk up to the line, they can see where the way the defense is stacked. They may even have an abort or a kill, kill, kill call. And if you've ever watched an NFL game, you hear guys yell that all the time. And what that means is that they're looking at the field and they see that what the play has been called isn't going to work. And they just want to get out of the play and get on to the next one when something better can be called. So usually they kill, 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 and they hand the ball and run a couple yards so they can live the fight another day. And that's the same thing we want to do with our technicians. We want to give them a progression so when they walk into a house, they understand what the ultimate goal of each visit is and how those goals progress. Where do we want to start? Where do I want to end? Basically, we're giving them a list of priorities, a progression to work through. And we want them to understand when, even though things are important, it's not a good choice to do them. We don't want them to force the ball and put us in a bad spot. So, what does that sales progression look like? How do we get our technicians to throw the deep ball? Well, it's pretty simple. In every household we go into, the first priority should be to find a replacement opportunity, especially if it's a new customer. Why is that? Because we know new customers replace at twice the rate of our long-term customers. And on average, they replace for a lot more money. Plus, and if you've watched my other videos, you'll know the lifetime of a customer for our industry is very short. The number of visits is very few, and the chances that we're going to get back into this house are very slim. So if the replacement opportunity is there, we want our technician to take that shot. Why? Because if they don't, they'll miss it. And if you've ever watched an NFL game, you'll see the greats, the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, etc. They shoot that ball down the field all the time. Why? Sometimes they hit them. A lot of times they miss them. But they hit them enough that it pays off in the end. And that's the same thing we're trying to do here with our technicians. If the replacement opportunity is there, we want them to take it. But they also need to understand if it's a 7-year-old unit or a 10-year-old unit and there isn't an opportunity for replacement, then we have to look for other things that are available. Is there a high dollar repair? Is there something we can replace? Are there add-ons we can do? That's our next option. Are there high dollar IAQ things we can add to this home? And if that's not available, what about an agreement? And of course, a replacement opportunity or a high dollar repair can be bundled with an agreement. You can always take the lower items and add them to the top. But the main goal is find that replacement opportunity, get the high dollar repair. If those two aren't an option, then move to the agreement. But we only want agreements in certain cases. Again, we don't want to force the pass because that can actually cost us money. If it's a 7-year-old unit, a 10-year-old unit, a 15-year-old unit, fantastic. If we don't have an opportunity for replacement or a high dollar repair, I want to get an agreement and get out of the house so that I can get back in. It really ups my chances. Even though I can't get it today and I know the fall off on customers is really high, I want to get the best opportunity to get a chance to sell this unit. It's not needed today, but it will be needed in the near future. So I want that agreement. If it's a 3-year-old unit or if it's a brand spanking new unit, we'll come to that in a second. And then finally, there's the check down. You're going to go into some houses and there's not a lot of opportunity. It's a 3, 5, 7-year-old unit. There's not a lot to do. There's really no add-ons to put into the system. There's not a lot of money to be made here. And in that case, we're just going to throw the check down. Do the repair, do the thing they called for, do the tune-up they asked for, see if there's some things you can add on to those, see if there's some IAQ, etc., and then just get out of the house. The last option, of course, is the kill, the abort. That's when we get into a house and we realize this is a brand new unit. It's only been in here for 6 months. It's only been in here for a year or two. We don't want to sell an agreement on this household. Absolutely not. Because we'll never get our money back. The chances of us being able to keep that customer on the books long enough to get a replacement on that unit are virtually zero, no matter how great of a job we do. And if you want to find out more information about that, I've got tons of videos on our website. You can check those out. But I'll leave it at this about those households. We know that you lose money on most of those houses because there is no opportunity to sell. There is no opportunity to add things on. And keeping your technician in a house where there is no opportunity does two really bad things for you. One, it keeps them from moving on to the next call where there might be a replacement opportunity. And two, it saddles you with someone else's install. If that unit is installed improperly and there are problems and you sell an agreement on it, by golly, it's your problem now. And that's a great way to lose money because, again, the chances of you keeping that customer on long enough in order to get a replacement are virtually zero. So that's the progression. I want to look first for the replacement opportunity. If that's not available, the high dollar repair. Then if the opportunity is right for an agreement, I want to sell that agreement. If the system's 7, 10, 15 years old but doesn't need the other two, I want to sell an agreement so I can get back in this house and try to get it at another time. Otherwise, I'm going to check down or abort and get out of the house and move on to the next call. That's the way you start to set up a list of priorities for your technicians so they can be more successful in the home. Because again, right now, for most of them, everything is the most important thing, and that means nothing is important. Hey guys, thank you for your time today. I'm Eric Weitraw with Stochastic Marketing. If you'd like to, shoot me your comments on this video. Give me a call. If you'd like me to take a look at your business, that's what we do for a living. So shoot me an email, give me a call. I'd be happy to do that for you. Thanks for your time today. I'll talk to you again soon.